Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 42 of the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles. I'm here with Joey and Jackson. Guys, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling great. We're doing another late night podcast, reacting right after a couple of those TNT games. We're recording this Monday night, or technically it's 1 a.m., so Tuesday morning.
That's a lot of fun. Jackson, how are you?
So happy to be alive.
Jackson's finally back. We're now back all the way from school for the summer. So this is perfect. And playoff basketball has been fantastic. My voice is definitely a little fatigued.
So it's a little raspy there. What happened, Miles?
I was at Game 7 of the Cavs Magic game. And that was a lot of fun.
What I wouldn't give to be able to go watch my team in the playoffs ever.
Oh, you're a Rockets fan, though, so you got to wait at least another year.
No, it will happen one
It will. I believe I'm calling it now. Prediction right now. Rockets 6 seed next year.
Whoa! All right, we'll see.
Try 2 seed.
Try Tuesday.
Buster.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, let's start with recapping the games that just happened last night. This is gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
So a surprise here. The Minnesota Timberwolves go into Denver and they don't just take one game. They take both games in Denver, winning game 2 106-80, dominating fashion, and they have the 2-0 lead going to Minnesota. This was impressive. I don't know if anyone expected this.
Jackson, you can go first.
Wait. Can you say that last part again?
I don't think you expected them to go 2-0 in Denver. You did have the Wolves in 6.
Did someone say, get the broom?
Get
the brooms out, baby.
You said last episode that you could
You just make a hole in your wall.
No, but I definitely woke my brother up. And maybe the rest of the house. We're cooked.
Oh, boy. Well,
Gaga may have to disappear and go night mode soon.
Yeah, in case Jackson has to disappear.
You'll see Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Well, Joey, start us off here.
Hey, I can change midway through too. I can get the broom out whenever I want.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Whenever I want.
That's not how this works, brother.
I predicted this.
You sure
5
did.
months ago.
Not this kind of dominance. I don't think anybody predicted, but this was unreal. The complete and utter catastrophe for Denver, and complete and utter dominance by Minnesota. It was, even without Rudy, congratulations to him for having the birth of his firstborn. But man, even without him, Cat played great, Ant played great, everybody played great for Minnesota. It was a complete performance. Defense was top notch.
Maybe Victor should win Defensive Player of the Year. Because clearly they didn't need Rudy.
You're right. Clearly, Rudy was nothing to do with the great defense on this team.
Or maybe
Denver just sucked. What are we doing?
I'm in complete agreement with Gaga. Give it to Wemby.
You know I'm a huge
Wemby did win Rookie of the Year earlier.
Oh yeah, shout out that.
That's yesterday. Shout out to Wemby, but no,
we all knew that since January.
Yes, we did. Unanimous Rookie of the Year. So shout out to Wemby for
6th one, I think.
6-1 probably.
Yeah.
But
what's going on?
This was crazy. The Nuggets looking as uncomfortable as I've ever seen this group play when healthy. Specifically Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. I mean, Jokic, you look at the numbers so far this series, he's been putting up solid counting stats, but you can tell that the defense has definitely had an impact on his play. But Joey, we were talking in the pre-pod lobby about Jamal Murray's struggles, scoring 8 points in this game, just 17 points in game 1, and a combined minus 38 through 2 games. Just has really been a rough spot for the Nuggets so far.
last year, Jamal Murray was a playoff god. And yeah, we were talking about in the playoff pre-pod lobby, but like the Nuggets need him to be like that. If they want any chance of even taking a game in Minnesota, Jamal Murray is going to have to step up. It's just what's going to have to. Aaron Gordon, solid game. You were pointing out before that he like 13 of his 20 points came in like the first 6-7 minutes of the game. However, if you get that in the first quarter, you have 20 points total. That's a great compliment for what's supposed to be Jamal Murray and Jokic leading the way. That clearly did not happen today, but they just look lost out there. And I think Jamal Murray needs to be the pilot, even though Joker's the best player. I think if they don't have Jamal Murray playing again like he did last year and have his playoff version of himself, get the brooms out because it's going to be a quick series because Jamal Murray, they need him badly.
Did you?
Oh, I didn't mean to get the actual broom out again.
Oh.
What do you think, Goglin? What are your reactions to this blowout? I've been talking a lot about what the Nuggets have been doing wrong.
It happened in Denver. Denver doesn't lose in the playoffs at home, and they just did it twice. Going into Minnesota, that place is going to be loud. It's going to Minnesota fans are going to show out.
Oh, I told you before. One of the things that shocked me was at the end of the game, Ant was going to the free throw. MVP chance in Denver for Ant. In Denver for Ant.
I got to keep playing my world's smallest violin, the sad song I'm playing for the Denver Nuggets, because their season could possibly be over. I'm not going to say it's set in stone because I've seen Paul Pierce do that and it did not end up well. So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. But get the brooms, baby.
It may be if Jamal doesn't come back, but hey, even with Denver doing this bad, Minnesota, man, played a great game. Like I said, Ant, Cat, great defense. Great.
Nobody could have predicted that Minnesota was going to be a playoff team.
Jared Vanderbilt got in foul trouble. That also shocked me.
McDaniels.
Or Jared Daniels, yeah. Sorry.
Jared Vanderbilt plays for the Lakers, sir.
Sorry, wrong defensive minded guy. Sorry, wrong defensive minded guy.
Not even the best defensive minds guy in the league.
No, but McDaniels was in foul trouble, which him and Gobert out. I was shocked that their defense was so good. They were shutting everything down.
I heard the best defensive-minded players were number 9. Is that true?
Defensive? What?
Who's number 9?
Oh, don't. I already know what he wants to do. We're not shouting out that Canadian garbage can that can't shoot threes in Greece. Shout out to Dylan Brooks. Anyways.
Why are we mentioning Dylan Brooks if we're talking about Minnesota?
I didn't mention him. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, so Minnesota, obviously, super impressive. This was incredible, these first 2 games. Denver is going to have a lot of time they're going to have this loss in their minds. They're going to have a lot of time to practice. Game 3 is not until Friday. So they're going to have essentially the whole week to prepare and set up a new game plan now that they know what they're in for with this Timberwolves defense. I personally, I'm not ruling out this Denver Nuggets team from winning both games in Minnesota either, because they are a dominant road team as well. And I have an idea on what the Nuggets might do going forward, because they had a little bit of success in this game early, and in the past, they've had success running their offense through Aaron Gordon a little bit as him being the ball handler, bringing it up, and having Jamal Murray off ball more as the 2. I think that could be a little interesting because we've been seeing a lot of Murray and Jokic pick and rolls, because obviously it's one of the best duos in the whole league, one of the best tandems in the whole league.
But they've been shutting that down.
They've been shutting that down, and their defense has been spectacular on Murray and Jokic. I think what they need to do with Jokic is they need to try to post him up a little bit closer to the basket instead of that.
They have him outside the key. They have him so far away from the hoop sometimes.
So here's the question. You can talk about all this offense mumbo jumbo. Who's gonna stop Anthony Edwards? I mean, seriously.
Oh, KCP was getting schooled by him today, dude.
I mean,
oh my gosh,
they
KCP
don't
ain't the
they don't
answer.
have a guy that you can confidently put on Anthony Edwards without losing a good matchup somewhere else.
Unless you go with Aaron Gordon for the size.
But then who's guarding Cat?
Yeah, that's where you get lost.
Michael Porter.
But then who's guarding McDaniels?
this-
McDaniels can
in-
score.
In this sort of matchup, maybe Jokic, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not the best.
Oh yeah, Nikola Jokic is gonna guard anybody. He's gonna guard Mr. 60-point.
Looks like a cone out there, dude. He looks like a cone out there today, just waving his arms about, trying to contest.
What this was by far. This had to be the worst game that Denver has played this year.
Probably the last 2 years, I would say.
So everything is going to look worse, obviously, in the worst game of the season. I think that all their players, even Aaron Gordon, even though he had 20 points, he was a minus 33, by far the worst on the team. When you play a game this bad, everyone's going to look significantly worse than actuality. And I think that going to Minnesota, Denver is going to have time to really figure out what they can do. And with the big thing, Anthony Edwards, he didn't start off the game super strong, but where he got going and the other Timberwolves players is they kept forcing turnovers and getting buckets on the fast break. That happened so many times in the first half.
That's
really
why, honestly,
how the Wolves blew this game wide open.
Yeah.
I might be switching my prediction to who is gonna win. I'm sticking with New York and Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember which team I said was going to win. But if I had to choose a team right now in that series that's going to win,
It's Minnesota.
when it inevitably happens, it's Minnesota.
Okay, there we go.
Don't you shake your head.
Hey,
Miles, don't you shake your head.
So far, he's been right about his predictions, but you can't
about this one prediction.
Yeah, you can't rule out Denver no matter what. They've won a championship for a reason. They have the best player on the planet in Jokic. This happens. You can't rule them out.
Does Jokic have 4 straight 40-point games in the playoffs right now?
He doesn't need to. Did he have to
Really?
do that? Did he have to do that last year to win a championship, Jack?
Is he up in his series right now?
Okay, we're gonna get to Jalen Brunson in a little bit. Do you guys have anything else on this particular series? Let's not jump around.
Let's not forget that after this game, Rudy also comes back.
Yeah, Rudy will be back, which is
and he's going to be coming back to a distraught Jokic.
Oh my goodness! In theory, it makes it better, but I would be shocked if the Nuggets lost again by 30.
You know what I think happens?
Well, they're not going to lose.
I think fatherhood has made Gobert soft. I think Gobert cries like a little baby after being a father for 2 days.
Have you ever heard of dad strength? He's going to come out and have 15 blocks on Friday.
And then he's going to go like this. He's going to rock the baby in front of you.
And then Draymond's going to come out and RKO him or something. Out of nowhere.
I will say, Charles Barkley, I did get an update saying Charles Barkley is saying that the Wolves are going to sweep the Nuggets. So I'm sorry for the Wolves, but Denver has officially won the series now. Charles Barkley has jinxed it.
But I also picked them, so.
Who's stronger, your predictions or Charles's guarantees?
Depends. This has nothing to do with San Antonio, so I think I got Chuck beat.
Hey man, just give him a churro and he'll switch to your side.
Those big ass women in San Antonio.
All those big women in San Antonio. Oh man, what was the other game? Let's move on to that.
Let's move on. Indiana and New York, game 1 of their semifinal series. Before we get to game 1, our predictions real quick because we couldn't get them on an episode before the series started. All of us picking New York. Nick, who is unable to be here with us today. Hope you feel better, Nick.
Yes, he was feeling unwell before.
He's got the Knicks in 6. The rest of us had the Knicks in 5. And to start this game and really throughout the whole thing, the Pacers were playing the Knicks extremely tough and very, very well. But in the end, the Knicks pull out the victory 121 to 117, thanks to the Villanova three going crazy with Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo. My goodness, man. Those three in the fourth quarter and the whole game.
Incredible.
It was
Jonathan, tell us about your favorite moment in the game.
All of it.
Can you point to a couple quick specifics?
The scoreboard at the end.
That's all you saw. Yeah.
That's all this.
You have all these opinions, but you don't even watch.
And my predictions are still right every time.
It's horrifying. It is what it is.
No, dude. I mean, come on. Name a better. There's no better point guard in the league right now.
Well,
Not a single one.
In the playoffs.
No.
In the playoffs.
Of all time. Move out the way Magic. Move out the way Steph Curry. Move out the way Big O. There's a new sheriff in town.
Yes.
And his name is Jalen.
Let's name the one-time All-Star, greatest point guard ever.
How many All-Stars has Darius Garland been to?
One.
And is he supposed to be in the conversation? Is he in the greatest point guard ever conversation?
He's not even the greatest point
no,
guard on our
no,
team.
No, because he went like 3 for 13 last game.
He's not even the best point guard on our team. I'd rather have Tristan Thompson bringing the ball up, but we'll get to the Cavs later.
What in tarnation?
Jalen Brunson, what did he have? Like 43 tonight?
43.
43, 6 and 6.
21 points in the fourth quarter. Josh Hart again playing the whole game for the third time in these playoffs with 24 points, 13 boards, 8 assists. He was looking fantastic. DiVincenzo was big in the second half, had 21 points in the second half, including the game-winning 3 in the final minute there.
How many times are we going to say that, dude? Where?
It held off the Pacers, who really played very, very well as a team.
They did.
And they really put up a good fight. I know a lot of people are going to go to some questionable officiating at the end, which we do need to talk about. There was the moving screen with about 21 seconds to go. The ball was knocked out of bounds. It went to Indiana. The Pacers opted not to call a timeout. And Tyrese Haliburton was bringing the ball up down the court. They were going to do a classic pick and pop, Haliburton and Turner. Haliburton goes, and Turner gets called for a moving screen. Dante DiVincenzo sold it pretty well. I don't know what to think about this. Joey, what are your thoughts on this on this call?
I hate NBA refs. I hate refs in general, but NBA refs, especially since we're talking about it, pretty bad. My biggest gripe is the inconsistency. You'll go from, hey, ticky-tack calls right away. Oh, we've got to play off. Whole rest of the game. Oh, well, we're not going to call any kind of fouls. You guys can, wrestle each other. Oh, okay, we're switching up. Sweet. End of the game. Oh, ticky-tacky again. You can't touch each other. What? The inconsistency, first off, is terrible. But also letting refs decide the game like that, it just leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. It really should come down to what you said. Indiana played a great game for 3/4 of the game. Fantastic. They should be very proud of themselves. But they lack the growth. They're a young team, first time in the playoffs, actually doing something. New York's been here, done that. They did it to the Cavs last year. They did it in the first round. Here they are. They knew to stay in the game and come back in the fourth. It's just what a good veteran team kind of does. They have that experience. But with the refereeing, that's just what it should be about, not the refs. And the refs, man, I wouldn't call it an offensive foul. I would have let it play out personally, but there was a lot of calls that were just why are you making this? Why, especially in the fourth quarter, it's this is the time to swallow your whistles. Just let them play it out.
We could say whatever we want about officiating, but the real question is why in 36 minutes of game time is Tyrese Haliburton only taking 6 shots? Just
Because
plain and
his-
simple.
because his role is to play make for everyone else, and everyone else played very, very well.
He is pass first,
But
and
so
it's
is
very
LeBron.
evident.
So is LeBron.
Oh, these comparisons. Why are we comparing Tyrese Halliburton to LeBron James? What are we
Yes.
doing?
We don't need to. We don't need
Because
to.
I can. That's why.
They don't make. That doesn't
But
make
also,
any sense.
you guys are talking about toughness in this game. You're not gonna out toughen New York for
I'll be
48
honest.
minutes ever.
Pascal Neesmith was playing pretty well.
But again,
Who's number 2 for the Pacers? I keep forgetting his
Nemhard.
name.
Nemhard was good.
Nemhard, yes, he played great today too.
They all played well, but I'm saying you're not gonna out you're not gonna outplay them toughness wise ever. This New York team, because they always have guys that they can they have guys that they're not even playing that could out toughen anybody. I mean, let's see. Mitchell Robinson's got less than 12 minutes this game. Precious got 4. Those are 2 guys that if they wanted, they could put in for a whole game.
It wasn't
And
a whole lot about toughness. I'll be completely honest.
I know, but you mentioned that. That's why I'm bringing it up a little bit.
I was mentioning it like physicality wise, not toughness.
But also,
physicality wise for the refs' perspective, because
I'm looking
I like
at
it
this.
more physical, especially in the playoffs. You need to let it go, and they were being so ticky tacky sometimes, and I absolutely hate it because it decides a game, it slows it down. It's the reason why people complain about the NBA. Like you give them a reason sometimes.
I think that the play that I have more of a gripe with, I was talking to the pre-pod lobby. Joey, I don't think Joey saw this play.
I did not.
But I'm trying to find exactly when it was. Yes, it was with 52 seconds remaining. The game was tied. Brunson had just made a jump shot to tie the game. Nemhard missed a step back 3. Brunson was coming down the floor, going to he was dribbling to his left. Neesmith was on his right hip. Brunson tried to pass it to the top. I believe it was to Josh Hart or DiVincenzo, whoever was at the top. And Neesmith sort of deflected the ball with his hand, but it was a light little tap. It ended up in the hands of Siakam, but the way it looked like a kick ball. So the officials called a kick ball, but when you look back on the replay, the ball did not go off of Neesmith's leg, so it shouldn't have been a kick ball, and the Pacers would have gotten a fast break opportunity to score. Instead, the Knicks get it back, and DiVincenzo hits the 3 because, well, at that point, it was difficult to figure. I didn't know what the Pacers should have done in that scenario because they were playing one-on-one against Brunson, forcing him to take difficult shots, and he was making every single one. So they decided on that play to come double team him when he started to make his move, and he just threw it out to DiVincenzo, and DiVincenzo made the shot. So credit to the New York Knicks. They definitely won this game. It's definitely a heartbreaking loss though for the Pacers in this game.
That is what I don't want it. The referees, even with the officiating and the call, I don't want them to take it away from that. New York did win this game. It's not like it's not like Indiana ran through the first 3 quarters and then blew it on that final call. No, they ran through them the first half. Third quarter they kept their lead, but New York started growing, and then that entire fourth quarter was basically all New York. And then it got really close and tight at the end, and it was a really great game to watch. It's unfortunate that the refs decided game. Just swallow your whistles. Let him be. Let him flop. If he flops, that's on him. Let them hit the open 3.
Or call the flop like there is a flopping rule.
No, I don't call the flop. You know what? I hate when people call the flop. Don't call the flop. Let the guy fall to the ground. That's an extra defender they don't have. You already have the advantage. Take advantage of it.
I have one more thing to add about this. I'm just looking at the box scores right now, and what I see, what's glaring to me right now, is Miles Turner had 2 rebounds.
Yeah.
2. You can't beat this New York team if your starting center is only getting 2 rebounds. Like, I get it. He's scoring and stuff, but
Mhm.
I mean, I'm looking. Isaiah Jackson had 5 rebounds. In
Oh,
13
Isaiah
minutes.
Jackson had a great game.
Yeah,
Shout out
I
to
think
Isaiah
that's what I'm
Jackson.
saying. I think he should get more playing time.
I think it's good for when they have Miles Turners, especially on the offensive end, because of the scoring, because they can't get out to him on the 3-point line fast enough with Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson. So it is a very good matchup advantage for the Pacers in that respect. However, you're completely right. They're giving it up on the rebounding, and not just the rebounding. It's what they pointed out at the halftime show. I remember watching it. The transition. The Pacers' transition defense, they would either turn it over or miss a shot. There was only 2 guards back. The wing would be halfway down, and the Knicks would have 4 guys already in their offense with 2 guys to defend. Like the Pacers, like it wasn't all turnovers; it was just missed shots. But their transition defense, especially with Pascal and Turner, they were just dragging behind with whoever the big guy was, Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson. The transition defense was awful. Huge reason why New York started coming back and was in this game for so long. Because if it wasn't for that, Indiana could have blown this wide open in the first half.
Yeah, like so at the end of the first half, I mean, the game was 4.
Well, they could have blown it up also, but Hartenstein also hit that half quarter right going into halftime.
Exactly what I was going to go to. The game was tied at 46 with 2 minutes to go in the half. The Pacers go on a 9-0 run. Halliburton hits a 3 with 3 seconds to go, and it's like, okay, Pacers up 9, great momentum, and then Hartenstein hits a 46-foot 3 at the buzzer to make it a 2-possession game, and it like that really saved the Knicks because if you go to it, I know it's only a difference of 3 points, but there's a massive difference in going into a half down 9 versus 6. After a run like that with the run.
Not even just that, but like the crowd. Like I even texted y'all in the group chat saying, like, man, this crowd is pretty quiet. And if you go on a 9-0 run going into halftime, the crowd is quiet, and you're going into halftime. That's like it's just not good. And then all of a sudden, Hartenstein makes it. Crowd goes wild. That little bit of energy just keeps you up a little bit so you can be ready for this halftime, the team talk, and the game plan going into the second half. You're a little more energized about it. It's huge momentum that you just don't think about.
Isaiah Hartenstein's second 3 of the season. Crazy stuff, man.
They need to stop giving anybody else the ball for a 3-point. Just let him go to work. What do you think about that, Goglin? DiVincenzo or Hartenstein for 3?
See, the Knicks only have one white guy on their team, and it's DiVincenzo. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Oh boy!
I mean,
this is what happens when we record at 1:27 in the morning. It gets
Hartenstein's dad is black.
Yes.
No, I know.
True.
We know.
We know.
Every team has to have their one cold white guy.
Shout out to the Roommates podcast.
Like
and the Cavs is Sam Merrill, not Georgia's the Englishers.
Like, let's go through it. Remaining playoff teams. The Timberwolves have
3.
The Timberwolves have Mike Conley.
No, let's not go through this. What are we
Wait,
doing?
no, the Timberwolves have Conley. The Timberwolves have Luka Garza. They gave him minutes at the end.
Garza's not cold like that.
Dude, they put him at the end of the game. They put him in at the end of the game. He's cold.
Luka Garza is one of the greatest cheerleaders in the whole NBA. Don't you dare disrespect my boy.
Sorry. Who else? Let's see. The Celtics have Sam Hauser. The Cavs have Money
Pritchard. No, Peyton Pritchard.
Nah, Sam Hauser, dude.
No, Peyton Pritchard's much better than him.
No.
Has Peyton Pritchard ever hit 6 threes in a game?
Peyton Pritchard's dropped like 60 in like an off-season Drew League game, I remember.
Well, what about in-season? In-season, he sucks. The Knicks have DiVincenzo. The Pacers have TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell's cold. TJ McConnell's cold.
Dougie
Dude,
McBuckets
every team has one.
Dougie McBuckets.
Dude, this is wait. I'm gonna think about this right now.
Of course you are.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
Miles,
move on.
Let's move on. Goglin can think about white guys. We
The
can move on
Rockets
to
are
talk about
Shindig, baby.
basketball.
Let's go.
Yes.
Roll out
All
the
right.
red carpet.
Well, okay. Tonight, as we're releasing this on Tuesday night, we have the two remaining second round series we've got to get to, which are now fully determined after the first round concluded on Sunday afternoon with the Cleveland Cavaliers winning Game 7 against the Orlando Magic, 106-94. Game that I was at, got to witness a lot of history. Biggest Game 7 comeback win in NBA history. They were down 18 in the first half, came back to win. First playoff series victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers without LeBron James since 1993. Just some insane stuff from this game. It looked rough for the really first one and a half quarters. But the Cavs, they, like you were talking about, Joey, with how important it is to get momentum at the end of quarters. The Cavs got the momentum at the end of the second quarter, and they carried on, really dominating the second half and cruising to the Game 7 victory at the end of it.
That was an incredible game to watch. My friends that I was watching it with were yelling at me because in the first half I was mostly negative because we were playing so bad, and they thought I was manifesting it, which I can't blame them. I was talking so much crap. But going into that halftime, only down 10 was huge.
You Cavs fans hate your team more than anyone I've ever seen.
No.
We are realistic.
I don't want to be a delusional Rockets / Knicks / Timberwolves fan like you.
Really? Because my delusion is looking pretty good right now.
No. We're realistic. And I'm also realistic about the Cavs beating the Celtics, but we'll get to that later.
We'll preview that series next,
but no, what a game. Great series for the Magic. This Magic team is good. Excited to see what they can do for the years to come because Paolo's the real deal.
Paolo was sensational in this game.
He's sensational this whole series. Honestly,
besides the second half of this game, I think
free throw merchants.
I think the Cavs did a good job of defending him for the second half of this game.
You mean Isaac Okoro? Isaac Okoro locked Paolo down that second half.
Okoro and Mobley did a terrific job. And then holding Franz Wagner to the worst shooting game in Game 7 history.
That's what. If the Magic want to get better and move on from this, they need to know that they can't get another performance like that out of Franz in a Game 7 like that again, because that's realistically your second best player, or should be. Paolo and Franz are pretty much your top two players that you should be building and focusing your offense around. Everybody else is great pieces. But when Franz is shooting, like you said, the worst shooting performance in a Game 7 history, as your number two guy, you're not. It's hard to win Game 7s like that.
And the thing for Franz, he clearly in this series played better at home than on the road. He was sensational, specifically in Games 4 and 6. But in 2, 5, and 7, when Games 5 and 7 combined, he scored 20 points on 4 for 26 shooting from the field in Games 5 and 7.
I don't see a problem with that.
Well, of course you don't, because you're like the biggest Jordan Poole fan. That's like the common night for him. That's not a combined 2 games. That's an average night.
We literally just talked about this before the episode. You can't be talking like this.
Nah, I'm just saying.
You just curse Chelsea for the rest of their season.
No. Chelsea season's almost done. We're gonna make a European tournament next year, and we're going to the top. Give it like 3 years.
Nope, just because of what you just said. That's not.
Shout out Chelsea.
Girlfriend.
No, look, with the Orlando Magic, there are certainly a lot of things you can take away from this series. I mean, this was a great first series to play. You took the Cavs to 7 games when no one I mean, we were all pretty decently high on the Magic. I mean, we're all fans of the Magic. I'm wearing their shirt
Joey.
now. I can now finally
Joey.
like them again.
I literally picked the Magic to win
Joey.
almost every single game.
Pick the Magic
As a
until
big Cavs fan, I picked the
you
Magic.
literally
to
were
win.
saying the Magic were gonna win until like the third quarter of that last game.
Okay, so-
Well, that's when we started coming back and winning.
But
No, every game before that too.
Oh, I know.
But I think there are definitely some things that you can take away from this. Jamal Mosley, great head coach. In a game 7, to start the fourth quarter of game 7, you cannot play an all-5 bench unit. You cannot do that.
That's
I know the
something he
Magic
needs
have
to learn for future is you got to shorten it up a little bit, just a little bit.
And look, the Magic have a good bench, and it showed throughout this series. But just in going to start the fourth quarter of a game 7, you just cannot play your whole bench. I mean, you look at the Cavs. We basically played a 6-man rotation the second half of game 7. And yes, that's because the role players really struggled in this series. But, players stepped up when they needed to.
I was going to say, not this game 7. Honestly, the role players came to play. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell, the second half was unconscious. But realistically, the role players were the ones that helped it get back. In that second quarter to help us close it out, man, Tristan Thompson came in, got a block, offensive rebound. Sam Merrill came in, took a charge, hit a 3, got an assist. Isaac Okoro, second half, locked down Paolo. Even Strus, who has done nothing, hit like 2 threes in the second half,
He was
like
great
back
in
to
the
back.
third. He was great in the second half.
Like that's what you need though to get people going. Like just a couple guys. Don't need you dropping 15 to 20 points as a role guy. Just quick little spark moments. Take a charge, get an offensive rebound, knock down a 3. That's all we're asking.
All
That's all
right.
we're asking.
Harris LeVert was big for that too. And
Harris LeVert was great as well.
And this
when we
was
needed him.
huge. This was huge, considering the game 6 where Donovan Mitchell scores 50 points.
Thank you.
Someone
finally said that man's name.
Well,
What?
he did say
My
that.
lord.
I said Donovan Mitchell
Mitchell's-
before I went on the role players. I said even though Donovan Mitchell went unconscious in the second half, I gave praise to all the role players because I'm sorry. Is there anything more we need to say about Donovan Mitchell other than he's absolutely insane at the game of basketball?
No, he needs to be the main. I think he needs to be the main focus, undoubtedly, that we got to talk about. I mean, the game 6, he did not receive really any help in the fourth quarter because I thought Darius Garland was great in the first 3 quarters of game 6.
Darius kind of sucks.
Then
Like,
was
is it just
rough
me?
was rough in the
It's not
fourth
just
quarter.
you.
Darius kind of.
It's not just you. It's not just you.
I mean, he looked terrible. Like Jalen Suggs was putting him in a torture chamber. Like there's the torture chamber. No, he's one step ahead of that.
Well, he's an all-defensive guard, of course. There's the Suggs chamber.
So
Jalen
I
Suggs
think-
is a great
I think-
defender.
I think that if you cut and pasted Garland's fourth quarter of this game and put it into game 6, then that would have been the perfect game because Garland was great through the first 3 quarters of game 6.
dude, that reminds me of another player who never plays well in the fourth quarter in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about them? They're on vacation.
Talking about who?
Who are we talking about?
Just you guys can infer.
Is it the Rockets?
No, it's
No.
Joel Embiid.
It's
Why are we talking about the Joel Embiid?
Exactly. Oh,
Jacqueline, shut up.
he's so bad.
Congratulations, your Knicks won. Move on.
Oh, I'm not moving on ever because they're still rolling.
Oh man.
You're gonna hear about this for 10 years. My prediction spree I'm going on earlier in the season.
Oh man, I can't wait to get your take when we're doing the podcast in 10 years and get your take on Joel Embiid's Hall of Fame enshrinement.
I'm gonna go crash it.
No,
Make sure that
seriously
does not
though.
happen.
Cavs though, very impressive win.
Glad we finally got some help. If we get help like that, I'm very confident in the Celtics series.
Isn't there one
Not-
more series?
even though Jared Allen is out, he didn't play Game 7, Game 6.
Porzingis
Right?
is also out.
Pingus is out. So Joe, we won't have to deal with Jared Allen and Mobley, at least one of them being out of position, whoever's guarding Kristaps Porzingis, and we just have to worry about Mobley. We put a Coro in the starting lineup. He locks up Jason Tatum like he did Paolo Banchero.
Okay.
Smooth sailing. I'm confident.
Dude.
Smooth sailing,
Tatum-
Cavs in 7.
Tatum already had his bad playoff series this playoffs. You really think he's going to duplicate it?
Yes. Talk about a player that can't hit anything in the fourth quarter.
And you're saying he locked up Paolo.
In the second half of the last game, yes.
Well, that's because he couldn't get to the free throw line. The free throw merchant.
He is a free throw merchant.
He said it, not me.
I did. Well, I was also telling Miles in the pre-pod lobby, I'm like, I kind of couldn't have called out Paolo for being a free throw merchant because his 10 free throws that he hit in the first half, out of his 24 points he scored in that first half, Donovan Mitchell had 10 free throws attempted and only had 15 points.
Dude, wait. I even said, you guys remember what I texted at halftime
No.
of that game? I said the key is Donovan needs to start hitting his shots and you guys will be fine.
And he did.
And he did.
What a take.
What a take.
What a
Your
take.
best player has to make shots.
Literally. But no, moving on. Let's preview the Cavs Celtics second round series. That game 1 is tonight. And this is a very interesting matchup here, or at least it could be, with Kristaps Porzingis out. I think Jared Allen being out for the Cavs is very, very unfortunate, at least to start the series, especially with Porzingis out, because your main advantage was going to be your size in the front court, and now you do not have that. When you look across the rest of the board, there really aren't many advantages that the Cavs have over the Celtics, because the Celtics have bigger guards that they can put on, Garland and Mitchell. They are a great three-point shooting team. The Cavs' defensive philosophies against the Magic were to let them shoot threes. You cannot do that against this Boston Celtics team.
Now when they bring out their one cold white boy, Sam Hauser.
No, man.
Not a chance.
The Celtics, great three-point shooting team. I mean, Derek White was incredible in the first round. 22 points per game in the first round. It's a difficult series for this Cavalier team. I mean, the big thing for Boston, their biggest weakness is sometimes they can sort of lose themselves with their no pass possessions, one-on-one isolations. That's really the only way they really lose games, is if they, beat themselves up really by not playing their game. We saw that in the one game that the Cavs did win this season against the Celtics, and that comeback when the Celtics sort of let up when Dean Wade went crazy. We hope to have him back.
Is he coming back anytime soon? Because if he comes back, we got this series in 4.
He's already listed out for game 1. I'm not too confident that he will return.
I'm not either.
It stinks, because if he was available, there's no question in my mind that he would be starting in this series, especially with the Allen out. Dean Wade for sure would start in this series.
The real D Wade.
What? Wait, what?
What?
He's not the real D Wade.
Yeah, he is.
He's the only D Wade that's in the NBA.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Really? Because he's the D Wade without a ring.
Are you serious? He's married. Goglin, why are you being disrespectful?
Goglin, come on.
All right.
What
He's not the D Wade that's married to Gabrielle Union either. Let's calm down.
That's Dwayne Wade, and he's not in the NBA.
That's D Wade.
He's out of the league. Yeah.
That's Dwayne Wade, and he's not in the NBA.
That is D Wade.
That's Dwayne Wade. I don't.
All right, can we talk about one more series, please?
No, we have a lot. No, we still.
I thought you were about to say, "Can we talk about One Piece?" I'm like, "Oh, my dream is coming to life. Let's talk about One Piece, baby. Let's turn this into an anime tale."
No. No, there's one more
What
series.
what are your guys' X factors in this series for both teams?
For Boston Cavs.
Yes.
For Boston, I'll go first. For Boston,
Yeah.
gotta just let your two guards do what they do and play that defense. Honestly, if you're Joe Mazzulla, double team Donovan Mitchell with the other two guards and let Darius Garland shoot from wherever because he sucks. He's terrible.
I can't argue.
I'd argue with that. I'd argue with that because Darius Garland was the only bright spot shooting for the Cavs in that series last round. Yeah, 40% from three on 5 attempts. He's your main bright spot from three with everyone else struggling. I think.
Sir, it was a joke.
Look,
Sure.
what everyone else has been. You could have said the same thing for Donovan Mitchell and
Sure.
25% from three. I mean, it would make sense.
And how many 50-point games did Darius have in the series?
What? One. He's had a 50-point game in his career.
In that series, sir.
Your questions and comparisons. What are you saying?
You're getting muted.
Okay, what's your other X factor?
And for the Cavs, everyone that's not named Donovan Mitchell.
Hit your shots, kid.
But more importantly, Brickhead Bickerstaff. That's what Mr. Skufka told me his name was.
Mr. Skufka, shout out him for speaking facts only. Miles, what are your X factors?
One of my X factors is definitely Karis LeVert because he plays extremely well against the Boston Celtics throughout his career. He has huge games in Boston specifically. I think he could be huge in this series.
We're gonna need the help.
And for Boston, it's probably Drew Holiday because if he can make shots offensively, that opens up everything for this Celtics team. I mean, Al Horford's going to be big as well because the size is not. They don't have a lot of size with Porzingis out for this series. They're going to have to rely on Horford and Luke Kornet to play the center
thing, by the way.
Playoff Horford is a thing. Stop.
It is. What are you laughing about? It's true.
But look, getting into our predictions, Joey is a believer in the underdog.
Wow, I don't even get to give my X factors. Do you hear this, Goglin?
No, you don't.
Wow, I ask everybody else and I don't. Wow,
Nope.
I'm loving this. This is incredible, Miles. You're so thoughtful.
Yeah, Miles. What the heck? And you won't even
I'm
let
gonna
me
try this
say my
again.
other
I'm just
series
kidding.
that
I'll just give my X factors.
Yeah, what are your X factors?
No, I was gonna go along and say I agree with your X factor for Boston because that is also mine. With the struggling Darius Garland, like Goglin was saying, if Drew Holiday, we know what he can do defensively, but offensively, if he can get it going, that's a huge spot you can just completely take over. Drew Holiday, if he has Garland on him and he just takes him to work and is hitting a shot, this series is going to be quick because that's just another offensive threat that you're already trying your best dealing with Tatum and Brown and even Derek White at times. If you have to just deal with another one and it's in one of your weakest positions right now, that's such a killer. However, for the Cavs, X Factor, I've been saying it for 2 years now, and I will keep saying it because I see some flashes. I need Evan Mobley to be aggressive, especially with Tingus Pingus out. I need Evan Mobley aggressive. Evan Mobley can, if Mitchell is doing his thing, even if Garland is struggling and some of the role guys aren't doing great, if Mobley comes out and like dominates, has like 25 points and like 10, 11 rebounds and just completely owns the inside, I'm going to be so happy and we could definitely win that game.
Didn't he have 6 blocks in game 7?
He went off. His defense is elite. I'm not going to talk about his defense because that's already elite, but him offensively, if he's going up against Al Horford, he needs to just completely just destroy that matchup advantage.
Yeah, I think I think he needs to just stick with what he's doing defensively. If you get offensive production from it, it'd be a huge spark. I'm not going to be too hopeful on the crazy offensive stuff because 25 points, he's done that 3 times this season.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
This is the time that we need it.
this is the time to do it, and that is kind of
especially with Allen out. You're not going to get it if he comes back later in the series.
Yeah, I just want to see the rebounding and the defense still stay dominant.
If his offense is doing well, but then his defense is starting to struggle because he's putting all the effort into the offense, then I will 100% agree with you because I would much rather have his elite defense. If I can only pick one and he's just putting all his effort into the offense and not in the defense, I'll completely just be like, hey, no, I need you on defense. I need you to be dominant. I need them not to score inside. But I'm assuming he can still keep up his elite defense and still have a little bit of that aggressiveness and get me 20 points a game. Or at least 20 points a game so we can possibly steal a game in Boston.
Potentially.
If he drops 20 points, I think we're in great shape.
I think if he scores 20, no, we're definitely in good shape. It's just 20 points for Mobley. It's hard to.
It's hard.
It's hard with Mobley.
We're gonna need him to step up. Garland is struggling. Allen is out. We need you to step up to be our second best player, not just on defense, but on offense too. That's my thing. Predictions you were saying though.
Yes.
Cavs in 7.
Joey's got the
Cavs in 6.
He is a believer. The rest of us did pick the Celtics.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Oops.
He's changing it live.
Changed it live.
Cavs in 6. You picked the Celtics.
Listen,
sorry, buddy.
I might listen. I might say something in an instant, and I might actually go back and think about it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I switch all the time. Or I see them play, and I'll be like, oh, this series might be a sweep. Like the one series we already talked about that shall remain nameless.
Yep.
Because I don't want to jinx it.
Yep.
Very
Can we talk about
got Celtics though in how many games?
Jackson and Nick have the Celtics in 5. I think I got the Celtics in 6.
Man.
I think Celtics in 5 that's what the Celtics should do.
Yes.
The Celtics should easily win this series in 5 games. But
I'm a believer.
I'm a believer that it can go to 6. So
there was one more sweep that happened in a crazy series.
What series?
Kendrick Lamar versus Drake.
Oh my gosh. Kendrick completely owned him, but
He
we don't
sweeped
need
it.
to talk
That's
about
what
that.
I'm
We don't need to
saying,
talk about that.
We do have one more round 2 matchup about to start, and that is
Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Dallas Mavericks, who completed
their series against the Clippers, won 4-2 in that. Did you guys do that episode in the last game?
correct. No, we did not because that was Friday.
No, we
night.
did not cover that.
That was an impressive way to close out the Clippers. They really did blow them out that second half because the game was tied at 52 at halftime. But
I
Kyrie
forgot
Irving,
OKC
man.
existed. I really did.
So that's the one thing that hasn't gone right so far. Predictions is the Clippers.
Yeah. No. Shout out Dallas. My Dallas is sleeping on the couch next to me. She's
And you know what, Miles? I changed mine after the first game, so shut up.
You changed it from Mavs in 6 to Clippers in 7 after the first game.
No
so you were right, and then you changed it to
were
wrong.
right, and then you were wrong.
So I'm taking that as me being right because I was right to begin with.
Nope. Sorry.
It's a thought that counts. Shut up.
Oh
Shut
man.
up.
This is gonna be
Leah.
this is probably my series to watch. If I would have to put my stamp of
Fake
sit your
Cavs
butts
fan over
down,
here.
watch the game, this is the series.
Freaking fake Cavs fan over here.
No, I agree. This is definitely.
How is that a fake Cavs fan? Luka versus Shea, 2 MVP candidates going at it.
Neither of which are the best point guard in the league.
Don't care. We're talking about Thunder Mavs now. We already talked about Jalen Brunson. He's going.
See, you know who I'm
God
talking.
mode.
You know, I
He's
love how you
talking
know who I'm
God
talking
mode.
about. You know
Why
who
do
I'm
you
talking
have to
about, and I
keep
didn't even have to
switching the
say his
subject?
name.
Why do you
didn't
have to
say
keep
his
changing
name.
the subjects
I didn't even
away?
have to say his name. And
Why do you have to keep changing the subjects when we already gave him all his flowers?
Because he deserves more.
He is great.
He
Phenomenal.
just texted me. He said he wants more praise.
Oh my gosh. Thunder Mavs. Great
Jay's
series.
a free throw merchant.
Everybody watch it.
Jay's a
Don't
free
listen
throw
to
merchant.
Coughlin about anything. His predictions may be right. He may have a crystal ball, but no, just ignore the four-eyed man.
Now there's none.
The no-eyed man.
But
Nah,
what are you
Shay's a
guys- what are you guys
free throw
looking-
merchant.
What are you guys looking forward to in this series?
Shea versus Luka. It's going to be just phenomenal to see.
Yeah, Shay's gonna slow Luca down, and Luca's not gonna be able to do anything towards Shay. Miles,
Really?
did we do our predictions for this?
No, we have not. This is our first time talking about this series.
Oh, so I didn't send in any predictions or anything.
Yeah, you did.
What were they?
We'll get to that. Let's
And
Let's preview the game. Let's preview the series before we predict. You want to base your preview on the teams based on the prediction that you gave
Listen.
because you forgot about your prediction.
exactly.
Obviously.
And you don't know what to talk.
Listen here, Buster. Don't get mad at me, okay? I told you I was tired. This is what you get.
I'm not mad at you. I'm calling you out for being lazy.
That's true. It's very true.
Oh, Miles, what are you looking forward to? I want to see Shea versus Luka, the two MVPs going at it. What about you?
Definitely Shea versus Luca. I think that's definitely the big
Dude,
matchup.
no.
The two MVPs going at it against each other. But I want to see how this Thunder team can go against this Dallas defense. Because the Mavericks defense has been lights out since they made the additions at the trade deadline. And I want to see how this young Thunder team can respond. I'm a huge fan of really both of these teams. I've been believers in both of these teams in the second half of the season.
Oh, yeah, second half, yeah. I have been.
And I'm excited to see how the Thunder will really fare in their first real true test, because the Pelicans without Zion,
That's not a test.
not much of one of the worst teams in the playoffs for sure. This is going to be
No,
very fun to watch.
No Zion, half a leg Brandon Ingram. CJ can't hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah, you had no shot. Yeah, Thunder, come on. You could have just
I don't know why you guys are saying your favorite matchup is going to be Luka versus Shea. Dude, I want to see how Kyrie's going to deal with the torture chamber.
I don't know who they're going to put on. Who would you put? Or who would be your defensive matchups on
I'd put
Kyrie?
Shea on Kyrie. And then I'd
put
put
on Luka.
No, you put Dort on Luka.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dort. Yeah, you would
Dort
want
on
Dort.
Luka, Shea on Kyrie. I think that's the way you got to go.
Oh.
With Derek Jones on Shea, probably. He's the best option to try to slow Shea down a little bit.
Toss some Daniel Gafford on him or something.
Well, then who's guarding? I mean, the Thunder just have so many offensive, stars.
Here's what you do:
that can really
you flick Chet's bone, breaks in half because he's skinny, then you're chilling.
That's a great insult.
Abe Lincoln.
I don't know.
How is Dallas? How is Dallas going to deal with Chet? Do you think PJ and who's starting for them? Lively,
Gafford.
Do you think they'll be able to deal with him being able to stretch the floor the way he does? Because he's really good at that.
They're gonna get in front of him.
I think that Gafford could try to expose him on the glass a little bit with his physicality.
Yeah,
that's the way I would go about it, at least.
That's probably the X factor. That's probably the X factor for the Dallas Mavericks is their physicality, because they are a little bigger.
Speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd signed an extension.
Hey, he did. Good shout out. Former Knicks legend.
Former Knicks legend. But no, I think that the Dallas Mavericks are going to live with Chet Holmgren 3-pointers to start because in the first round he only shot 30% from three, and most of that was Jonas Valanciunas letting him shoot threes. I mean, he had a great game too, 26.7 boards, but offensively he wasn't really giving you a whole lot of production. It was really his defense that was doing a terrific job of protecting the paint.
But even like spreading the floor, like having him as the threat on the outside,
Huge.
leaves it wide open for Shea to drive, and even Josh Giddey, because Josh Giddey can attack a little bit too and make plays for other people. So it's like,
You say, tread lightly with that name.
I'm just saying he attacks the paint, not
And
little
he, had a,
girls.
and, he had a great, and he had a great first round. He had a great first 50% from three.
Yeah.
Lou Dort, 52% from three. I mean, if the Thunder keep up their 3-point shooting from the regular season and, the first round series, it's going to be hard to see them lose this series. But this is definitely one of the tighter things because the experience definitely favors the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. I think it really, I'll be honest, I think this game one is a make or break. I know we always talk about, game 3 is the make or break, or right at the end, like going into like if you go, if it's 2-2, it's like, game 5 is make or break.
No, to me, game 1. Thunder, like you said, didn't have that tough of a matchup against New Orleans.
Dallas had the Clippers.
Championship coach, lot championship players,
Guys that have been there, MVP candidates, defensive players. You got everything with the Clippers there. Former MVPs.
Yeah, but
like
they had
the
Doc
Mavs
Rivers
have been
coaching, so-
tested right now. Do you think they're warmed up, and do you think OKC is going to have off to a slow start? Because if that happens and Mavs come into OKC and stun the Thunder, I can see the Mavs taking this series. However, I think if they don't do that, I think OKC runs the series, and that's why I say it make break.
It definitely will be huge. The Thunder have not played in 8 days because of the sweep against New Orleans. They haven't played since last Monday. And of course, Dallas just played on Friday with that longer series against the Clippers. And you're right. I mean, there are definitely different levels to this, playing the injured Pelicans versus the Clippers, who were also injured in their own right, but still with superstar players with Paul George.
Yeah, my thing is just like there's just more question marks about this Thunder team, and it's more just because we don't have the answers. It's like, hey, we saw them do this in the regular season. If they can continue that, they're in good shape. Well, of course, they were the 1 seed. But with Dallas, it's like, okay, what did we see from the Clippers? Because this is like an actual test. You can compare it. You can't compare the Pelicans to the Mavericks. I'm sorry.
Well, I know Mr. Giddy is not locked in. There was a video that was posted on social media of him partying at USC's campus, or no, UCF's campus.
UCF.
Mhm.
Why is he in Florida?
When?
It was posted like 4 or 5 days ago.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so he gets 2 days to relax after winning a series.
it was 4 or 5 days ago. They played what?
Hey man, it just doesn't seem locked in to me, man.
Yeah.
I think with Mavericks opponents though, the Thunder are a more talented team than the Clippers though. Without question, in my opinion, they have more talent and they're way deeper than the Clippers. Because you have to think about who the Clippers had to go to in desperation. They had to go to the Amir Coffees, PJ Tuckers, Mason Plumlee's off the bench. The Thunder, even though they're not as experienced, they have better players and they are more talented.
Isaiah Joe.
Yeah. Well, they are definitely the better team than the Clippers. I will say that. So this is, again, you're right, a big test for the Mavericks as well.
Big test for both of these teams. I mean, and let's just get into the
Predictions.
The predictions here. So we are split evenly on this. Nick and I have the Thunder in 7.
Me and Goglin are geniuses.
Joey's got the Mavs in 7. Jackson has the Mavericks in 6. So now Jackson's going to start to say why the Mavs are good and the Thunder are bad, because that's just how it goes.
Goglin, please inform the good people of the internet and Miles why the Mavs are good and the Thunder is bad.
Comes down to this, okay? Luka did not even have. He had a not so good series on his standards. It was still 29 points per game, but he didn't have the best first round series. And I don't see Luka Doncic having back-to-back slow series. I also don't see them slowing Kyrie down, no matter who they put on him, because Kyrie, if he wants to, is going to cook you, no matter what. No matter what. And what he's going to do, he's going to be able to get Gafford easy looks inside, because he's going to draw Chet to come contest his layups or come get him mismatched or something. And it's going to set Gafford up for big games as well. I think if Tim Hardaway Jr. even sees a single minute of this series, I might have to switch. I might have to bring the broom out for the Thunder, because they're going to sweep them if Tim Hardaway Jr. even looks at the court. He's
If Tim
terrible.
Hardaway smells the court, it's the Thunder's series to lose.
Tim Hardaway
I
Jr.
think Maxi Kleba is a big loss in this series. He's
Maxi
out for the rest of the
Kleba is
play.
a big loss. He's a good dude to stretch the floor and rebound.
But I mean, I think Derek Jones Jr. is going to play a great role too.
For Oklahoma City, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren also did not have the best first-round series.
Yeah, well, that's because Shea's a free throw merchant. Okay, so
Because
back up.
they haven't been tested.
Exactly, they haven't been tested, which means they are ready for the moment.
It was a good
For having
warm up, and then they got cold
skinny
again.
arms.
So they're going to need to warm up again. It's not going to be a fun start for the Thunder, I don't think.
I think them starting this series at home, it could go one of two ways, in the sense that, you know, they have the best home crowd in the NBA, so that could propel them to win game one, even if they're not supposed to. But them having home court could be bad if they come off rusty in game one and lose it, and then they lose home court advantage. Because losing game one as the home team, that it can cost you the rest of the way.
That's what I'm saying. It's make or break. Like if Dallas
Denver.
that's what I'm saying. If Dallas comes in there and takes it right away, and you guys aren't feeling yourselves and are cold to warm up, and it's going to be a long series
This
for the
just
Thunder,
in.
I think.
Mark Cuban makes a big business decision, has this game switched to France, because I've heard they have very rowdy crowds in France.
You found that out during Backlash. But
okay.
talking about rowdy crowds, that you mentioned it, Miles. Like I was about to say it. I was like, man, this crowd in OKC, what you know is it's going to be rocking. So home field advantage is going to be a real thing for OKC. They're going to have to use it.
Yeah, and Dallas too. Dallas
too,
that
but
atmosphere has been fantastic as well. It's going to be super fun, man, and it could go either way. I personally want to see the Thunder get it done, because I want to see them break the mold and prove people wrong that think that this team can't do it even when they're so young. I want to see them do it. But I mean, it'd be great if this Mavericks team could make a conference final. I think that either way, it's going to be a fun conference finals matchup if it's the Timberwolves or if the Nuggets can come back from that 2-0 deficit. Either way, it should be a lot of fun. You guys have anything else before we get out of here?
No, I want to go to bed. I'm so tired.
Oh man, Joey, you got anything? I think he's frozen on my screen.
He's not on mine. Oh, he's gone now.
Oh, he's gone, unfortunately. Oh no, he's back.
my whole thing was frozen. Sorry.
You're all good. You got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh, we're finishing up. My bad. Sorry for missing the final points. I will say shout out to Stephen Marbury for getting some screen time on TNT. Knicks legend. Most affordable shoes when I was in grade school. Everyone had a pair. The Starberries. If you don't know them, go get them. They're making a comeback out here.
Oh my gosh.
Stefan Marbury. Marbury, Knicks legend.
I'm getting a whole spiel on
Chinese
Marbury.
legend, sorry.
Sure, I'm tired. I'm not trying to hear the whole life story of Stephon Marbury.
Hey, it's a good story.
It is a very good story. Maybe we'll bring that on in the next episode. We could bring Coach Kove.
Yes.
If
he
he
tells the story.
Feel
of
better,
Marbury.
Coach Cove.
Yes, feel better, Coach. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.